Okay.
Oh, Montana. So she has it.
Our place, where we can dream and share it. Our place, you'll find a friend to care it.
We are Our Place Out Loud. I am your lovely and captivating host, Louise Palanker, here with a panel of wise and wonderful teens. We have Montana, Kiamute, Sam, Nico, Olivia, and Aaron, our two college kids. So welcome back. Welcome to us. Last week, Aaron hosted the show without me. I was on a road trip. You can ask me all kinds of questions about that, and I will give you all kinds of answers. Well, although, I can't see why you'd be all that interested. We were in a car. We drove, and we drove back home. But we did have all kinds of adventures along the way, and I highly recommend road trips. They're super fun, and you can do a lot of singing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I did. Please give us a call at 888-531-7171. Ask me about my road trip, and I will tell you where I went. In the meantime, let's dive into questions, because questions are fun too, right?
Ooh.
And you can do a lot of singing with questions.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Pink Bunny Rabbit. I have a friend that was super mean to me. She called me a bunch of names, and we weren't friends anymore. I miss her a lot. Then she apologized and asked if we could be friends again. I can tell she means it, but we've gotten into big fights multiple times, and we're on and off as friends. What should I do? I want to be her friend again. Can you hear the conflict within this one question? Yeah. Olivia, or whose hand is up? Aaron.
Why are you friends? I mean, you're on and off, you're fighting all the time, and you say you miss her, but what do you miss? I don't know. You haven't really given me a good picture of it. Ask yourself that question. What do you miss?
Keo?
I think that there's something that shows up through actions even after you've apologized. Even if you think you really mean you're apologizing, if the same problems keep occurring, then it shows insincerity through actions, not just what you're saying. So I think the actual if there's some core thing that keeps happening that you guys are fighting about, then you should solve that first and then try and be friends. Sam?
Aaron, I think that you were asking, why are they friends, or why does she want to be friends again? I think from personal experience, when I've, been in a fight with a friend and don't want to be friends with them because I can't trust them, but I want them, it's because you miss having that kind of, companion, kind of a person in your life, just because there's a hole in your life. So, you miss having someone to fill that. Yeah.
And, yeah, that totally makes sense as to why you feel that way. But if you sit down and say, what do I actually miss, right? Is it just the knowing that they're there, regardless of what they're doing or who they are, or is it actually, friend things? Because there's a difference. Olivia?
I am a big fan of the pro-con list, and, I really go by them, and if the pros absolutely outweigh the cons, go for it, continue to be friends, try to work that out and foster that relationship. But if the cons really outweigh the pros, then your answer is right there. It's in writing. It's not worth it.
Montana?
Mike, sorry. Yeah, so it just seems like she really misses the idea of her, and you kind of just need to ask yourself, what am I hoping to gain from this? And if there's no possible, solution that will make things better than they are now, if you think you're just going to keep fighting and it's just going to be like this, stay cordial with her, remember her well, and you don't have to be friends with her.
Nico?
I don't really like to put my friends in kind of a, organized list or see whether or not I can get anything out of it. I know that's not really what you mean, but it's I feel like there's no really right or wrong answer to talking about, if you want to keep a friend or not. I feel like I ask myself, hey, do I want to be this person's friend? And if I'm scared of losing them, am I scared of losing them because they were a good friend, or am I scared of losing them because I don't like the idea of letting someone out of my life? If it's the second one, then, you still got to deal with getting them out of your life, but it's not as bad as you're making it out to be. Keo?
Yeah, I think that just because they are fighting, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's nothing worth fighting for. So I think there is a possibility because people can fight but also have a really great time just on separate occasions. So, excuse me. I think that it's possible this is a friend worth fighting for. So, like everyone has been saying, you should decide that and then move from there.
Well, I'm gonna just have this to say. She's called you names. She's been mean. I think you're addicted to the concept of having her as a friend, and you see it maybe as a personal failure on your own part that you would lose a friend and that would make you less valid or valuable as a human being. But actually, what would make you more valuable as a human being is having a sense of dignity and a sense of being more whole and being better surrounded by love and buoyed by love, because this person continues to fracture you, and she continues to compromise the integrity of you by being mean, and therefore losing her as a friend makes you more whole. So you just have to kind of change the way you're looking at the situation, in my opinion. I don't see this kid changing anytime soon, and these patterns are going to repeat. When you take someone back, you have to say, okay, what's going to be different about the friendship this time? Have we worked on it? Have we talked it over? Have we decided that we're going to treat each other with more respect? Or is it going to just recur? Every time it recurs, it's kind of like stealing a piece of you, or a piece of what helps you feel like you deserve great people and lots of love and lots of support. So I don't know. There was just too much at the beginning of this question that makes me feel like it's unsalvageable. The only thing that needs to happen is her reaching that conclusion on her own. That it's okay to let this one go. What do you guys think? Nico?
I feel like personally it is unsalvageable, but the reason I kind of gave my thought process is because I feel like we all have our own way of organizing our friends in our head, and I always felt like that was kind of weird that we put a checklist on what's good or bad about people.
Well, it works for Olivia.
Well, yeah, it works for her smart people, but for people like Nico,
right?
We kind of have a different way of viewing it.
Just use your gut.
Just use your gut.
Yeah, so this part, she's super mean to me. She's called me a bunch of names. I think you're taking a lot of crap off this kid, and I don't think it's okay, and that I don't think it should continue. Keo?
The only reason I don't assume that it's not, or that it is unsalvageable, is because it's coming from her. So maybe she's leaving out things that she knows that she did wrong too, or there could be within a situation somebody could call you mean names and say these mean things to you, and that's definitely wrong. But it might not necessarily have been just out of nowhere, like they were just being mean for no reason. There could be some kind of reason that you can work on and get them to be a nicer person. Olivia?
Well, if it is not one-sided, of course, it's like an interaction. Someone says something mean, the other person, that person is bringing up behavior in yourself that's toxic.
Closer to the mic, honey.
You shouldn't continue. If that person's being mean to you and it brings out a nasty side of you, I think that that's a clear sign of that person shouldn't be in your life anymore.
I think so too, but only if you can't fix that, because it's you that's doing the toxic behavior. So if you can fix something in yourself, it might fix the whole situation.
Well, or you could sit down with a person and say, okay, name calling is off the table.
Yeah.
New rule. Because it has to go both ways, but it's an unhealthy relationship, and if you're taking part in it, or if you're just as guilty as she is, like what Olivia said, if this person is bringing out that part of you that resorts to calling people names, it's like, I get letters from kids and they'll say things like, well, what I did wasn't nearly as bad as what this person did.
Yeah.
And I don't think her doing something worse makes your thing less bad. Yep. And just friendships like that. What do you think, Montana?
Yeah, I agree. And especially with the name calling, that should, personally, I believe that should always just be off the table, because it never really gets anywhere. It's just like, oh, you're mean, I hate you, blah, 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 you're this, you're that. And it never actually gets anywhere. At least with saying something somebody did, it can bring about a point of conversation as to okay, how do we fix this? But with name calling, it's just juvenile and it's not going to help anything. So try to take that off the table. And if she's confused about this now, I think I know in my experience, I've had people where it's like, oh, but I don't like that, or we're fighting, but I still think it's worth it to keep trying for them and for them to be in my life. But at some point, you'll get tired enough of being this toxic with somebody, and especially the way it makes you feel, you'll feel it, and you'll know when it's like time to end it.
Right, and another thing,
or when it's past time to end it.
Yeah, when it's past time. Another thing that happens as you grow up is your friend options continue to broaden.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you're really little, like 10 or 11 or 12, like, you don't have really a lot of options, and so losing a friend feels like a tiny death. Like, I don't think I can sustain that. I need people in my life. So the older you grow, with every year, there's more and more people that are presented as possible friends, and so it becomes less scary to cut a friend loose, because you just realize, I've outgrown this people and I have like 5 more friends, and it's okay if this one goes. All right, let's move on to the next question. Give us a call and let us know how you feel. 888-531-7171. Nico, please read this question from Anonymous. And don't read it in a voice.
Wheezy, I wouldn't dream of it.
I know you wouldn't dream of it, but in case you'd actually do it without dreaming of it, don't, because it's kind of a sensitive topic.
Right. Anonymous. I slept with my coworker, and now he doesn't talk to me anymore. What do I do? He was really into me at first. We had sex, and then he stopped joking around with me and being friendly. So I got mad, and I haven't talked to him in a month. He always asks me why I'm mad, and all I say is I'm not. The truth is I have feelings for him, and the fact that he only wanted me for sex disappointed me because I thought he was different. But I'm not sure what I want him to know, that I have feelings for him. Honestly, I don't know what to do.
Aaron?
I mean, this sounds like lots of bad communication. Like, it sounds like maybe, you know, you guys wound up together that one time and maybe weren't sure what was going on. Like, it was just sort of like, well, that happened, and maybe one of you had one idea, someone else had another idea, and it wasn't really talked about, and it just left everything really awkward. And, I mean, it's not right to make assumptions. It's best to just say straight up, listen, this is bothering me. What's going on? How do you feel about this? Here's what I want. Make sure he knows, and ask what he wants, and see if that helps.
This is a clear case of intimacy too soon. You know, intimacy before emotional connection, and like Aaron said, miscommunication. And I think that he didn't just. It feels to me like he didn't just have sex with you. It feels like he wants to know what's wrong, and things definitely get really, really super awkward at work. After sex. Livia?
I agree 100% with what Aaron said. Absolutely talk it out. Don't do it at work. I know that there are, like, I don't know where you work or what you're doing, but like, office romances aren't really an okay thing. So
Especially in the HR department.
yeah, don't bring it up at work.
I mean, it's probably more like a fast food romance, you know? So I don't
Save
know
it
where
over the
else you're supposed to
loudspeaker.
meet people other than, like, you know,
McDonald's.
over the fry bin or whatever it's called.
That's
Fry
so-
bin. But I've never worked it. I know, I'm sorry.
That's so wheezy.
So I mean, yes, office romances can be a bad idea, but like if they're both 18 and they both work at, like, you know, Chicken Hut or something, I definitely.
I'm sorry, where
know.
do you
It
get
needs
your,
to be a
your
place.
fast food?
I really like
With
turkey
a fry
fillet.
bin?
Montana?
Yeah, definitely. What I completely agree with what Aaron was saying. You just need more communication. This has happened to, like, a bunch of friends of mine, and the problem in this is there's been no communication, and so one person thinks, like, oh, we might be a thing, and the other person is just in my experience, it's the other person who has been, like, who's just kind of, like, wussed out, who's like, oh, I don't know what to do, maybe I just won't talk to them anymore, which like, I'm not super into assumptions, but I can't help just judging him and being like, I hate him for just, like, there's no reason that after sex, even though it's awkward, there's no reason you can't still be, like, friendly. Like, why do you have to just be rude at work? There's no reason for that.
Well, it could have just started off with him feeling awkward, and then she was assuming that it didn't mean anything to him, and so she's been rude to him. just to protect her own self, right?
Yeah.
So I do
And
feel
that's-
like what Aaron said, miscommunication.
and that's just miscommunication. But just in my experience from the friends that this has happened to, and friends we've lost because of it, it for me, how do I put this? I end up finding out that person's like true colors, like they just wanted them for sex, and then they are rude to them afterwards, which really makes me angry personally. But I mean, it could also completely go the other way. He was just feeling awkward, and he thought she was mad, and something like that. So communicate, people.
Right, and it's why I'm such a huge proponent of being 18, being in a loving and committed relationship, having an emotional attachment before there's any sexual intimacy, because there's just so much that can go wrong when you just go there first. Kyo.
Yeah, I think that there's either two options. He's being awkward or he's being rude. Either case, I think you don't feel embarrassed about how you felt, like how it made you feel and the feelings that you felt. Don't feel like you were stupid or wrong for feeling that way, because it makes sense to have some kind of emotion connected to sex. So I don't think you should necessarily feel stupid. I think you should take it as a lesson, learning that you need more communication before you do this kind of thing. So next time you're in this situation, talk to them first. Don't do it too fast. And like everyone's been saying, you need to talk and communicate.
Right. And like Olivia said, talk, but just go up to him at work and say, can we talk after work? And
Yeah.
definitely talk after work. All right. We are Our Place Out Loud. I am Louise Palanker here with Montana, Kiyamute, Sam, Nico, Olivia, who's in from college. How's your, what year are you on?
Second semester sophomore.
Okay, and how's it going?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I'm excited.
Are you going to be in any plays this year?
Not this semester, but I've been in almost 10 short films so far this year.
Wow. Where can we find them?
Nowhere.
If we're a fan of your work.
I mean, most of them are for classes, but I mean, I can try to find copies.
They don't put them up online when they're done?
No.
Where do they go?
And I don't know. I wish I knew. The whole film department is like a mystery for me. I just get like texts at like 3 a.m. being like, "We need a woman," and I'm just like, "Okay." So that's usually how that goes.
3 o'clock in the morning. We need a woman.
There's all these jokes out there. I'm coming up.
Oh, I know. It's just like,
pre-show
low-hanging
bro.
fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. And so, well, it's great to have you here. It was quite a surprise.
Because
and
we
a
needed a
treat
woman.
to have, because we need a woman. We need a woman. I heart Jesus.
I think
18.
I think it's
Oh.
Jesus.
I know,
that's how you
I
do
know
it.
it's Jesus, but I just saw Jamie passed out the best meme, and I don't know if it's a meme or what you call it, but it's like a picture with words on it. What are those, Aaron?
Memes.
Yeah, and it just says it's like a family sitting down for Thanksgiving and saying, "Thank you,
Oh,
Jesus, for our food," and then it's migrant workers, and he's like, "You're welcome." So in that case, it's Jesus.
It's Jesus. He's the best.
Because that's the guy who actually made the food happen for you peeps. For you peeps. But we
Oh,
love
Mother Teresa makes more sense now.
right?
I just what?
I heart Jesus 18.
Teresa?
And P.S. This is my new favorite person in the app. Have you been in the app lately, Aaron? I love her.
Oh yeah, Aaron's
All
always
right,
in the app.
so I love her. Wheezy, as a girl, I know we're always so confused whether it be boys, animals, feelings, or family. I also know it's due to hormones and changes in age, but I'm 18 years old, and I'm now starting to have all of these feelings recur in my life. I'm not exactly sure why. I've had the same boyfriend for a year and a half, and at the end of this month, I also have been given a promise ring from him. My family is a little dysfunctional, and they make me cry sometimes. I also cannot wait until I'm able to move out on my own. Yes, it's a little bittersweet, but then again, I'm still so thankful that I actually have a home, food, and clothing for the hot and the cold weather. Why am I feeling all this stuff at 18? Help. Sincerely, Britt. So this is definitely a really, really good, pertinent growing up question. Go ahead, Aaron.
Keep starting these. I mean, I think that almost anyone you talk to who is your age and younger and older will say the same things at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at no point are things completely clear cut, at no point are you never questioning something, right? You're
Mhm.
always sort of figuring things out as you go. And I hear that even as an adult, that kind of still happens. So that to look forward to. But it's a part of growing up, right? You gain things from moments like these. It's getting a sense of who you are and what you're doing and what's going on around you in the moment, right? I'm reading this. You're taking stock, right? That's important to do sometimes at any age. That's saying, well, here's what I've got and here's what I want, here's what I don't have yet, et cetera, and that can be complicated and that can be not always fun, but it can drive you to whatever the next thing is, and that is good. It helps you find your direction. Nico.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's super. I feel like it's more special towards this age, like when you're getting to 17, 18. At least personally, I know that I am super confused over college stuff. Like, every person I've talked to has had like a different approach. Colleges want different things. You gotta do this stuff with your grades, blah 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 blah, and it's just so confusing. There's no like set rules or anything. So like, especially around 18, when you're trying to get into college, like the time's gonna be confusing. Especially, I have no idea what's going on right now. I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know what
Why
I'm
are
doing.
any of us here?
That's good.
Is
Well,
this
your
even
girl's
real?
here,
Are we really
so-
here?
Oh, Montana?
Matrix kind of.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
ins-
Now what?
Montana.
Caught in a landslide.
Why are you here, Montana?
Where am I? I don't know. Anyway, I just love how she worded this question,
Yeah.
and she's adorable, and I just love that she's like all like, my family sucks, but like they're nice, and like
Yeah.
she seems really grateful and genuine and Jesus-y, so good for you.
Good job, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, everything's confusing. Like, if you ask anybody, their whole life is just a mess, and that's what like people are like, "Oh, how are you, Montana?" And I'm like, "A mess," and they've just expected that from me. So, I mean, that's a thing. So, there's no reason to feel like bad that this is happening again, because I mean, that's what keeps your life exciting in a
Right.
way.
And I think like if
Terrible,
there's
but
two
exciting.
major like mountains of adolescence, it would be age 12 and age 18, and they're just as bad. And so because age 12 it's like, what's happening to my body? And then at age 18 it's like, what does everyone expect from me? Because you're technically an adult, you can technically go to war, you can vote, but you don't have anything figured out. And so there's just this giant disconnect between what you think the world expects of you and what you're prepared to give the world. And so, I was walking around campus when I was 18, and I went to this school in Florida, and I was walking around campus in whatever kind of 18-year-old fog I was in, and I passed the building where you could go to see the therapist, and on the outside of the building it said adolescent psychology, and I went, I'm still an adolescent? Awesome! Because I knew I wasn't done cooking. Like, I knew it, and I just needed that, because I don't think we tell kids enough at 18, you're, like, really not supposed to be done. Yeah. And so that's what 4 years of college provides you with. It's, like, to continue growing and evolving, and it's, like, sort of like adolescence phase 2, It's supposed to be that way. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. Nico.
I want to add on the college thing again. Like, I'm a little bit ranty about this because I'm kind of pissed, but it's like, I feel like even today, especially today, like you're supposed to have like a plan for college. You're supposed to be like, all right, I'm gonna go here, get a 4-year degree, go to Moore Park, have a good old time being a doctor or something, have 2.5 kids. When I feel like college is okay, yeah, definitely not getting married.
Even a doctor is not going to be able to help a 0.5 kid.
A 0.5.
Yeah,
I have 3 kids, one of each. That's my plan.
I never got the 0.5 thing. Just cut one in half. Anyway, it's like I feel like you're really pressured to have a plan at this point because, like I said before, there's a lot of planning that goes into this whole college thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like college should be a time where you're like allowed to figure out what you want to do.
No.
Well, there we go. Sam said so. What did you think about it?
Just no.
Just turning back to the question for half a second.
What?
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I know. Whoa.
It's crazy. But
Is this a promise ring, like a marriage promise ring?
That's
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
what are those? I'm
yeah.
confused
I don't
about
know.
Promise,
Yeah.
promise
I mean,
rings are basically like, oh, I'm gonna get my girlfriend a ring that says we're gonna be together for evs.
We're going
And
super
it never
steady.
works out.
That's not-
Super steady.
No,
right,
no,
but
that's
that's not a
not
purity ring's the one where you're like, I don't.
No. That's a
It's
Jonas Brother
Turbo
ring.
steady.
Don't.
It's
We
uber
Don't go
steady.
Jonas Brother ring.
Okay.
They're just going steady. and here's a ring to prove it.
So we put a pin on her.
Okay.
If you like it, then you got it. Yes. Yeah. It's like
Gotta put a
yeah.
pin in
It's
it.
like this kid just feels like her life is pretty good, and she's going along great because high school is pretty trippy and pretty great at 16, and then all of a sudden you get to be a senior, and it's like, all right, we want to know your life plan, and you don't really have that at 18. And go ahead, Kyo.
I agree. Like 18 is a very confusing time, but any time in your life, if you don't know what's going on, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with you because you're confused. The world is a confusing place, and it's more confusing for some than it is for others, and it just depends on your experiences and who you are and how you think about things. And I think being confused shows that you're paying attention to what's going on in front of you because you don't understand it, but you're actually noticing you don't understand these things.
Yeah, and what Aaron said and what you said combined equals, like, being confused just gives you a chance to take stock and go, all right, well, this gives me a chance to actually stop. It's forcing me to stop and go, let me figure some stuff out. And so confusion can be good. Olivia.
Just to talk about the college applying period and how
more
crazy
college
that
talk,
is.
yay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun for you.
Yeah, no, I had a really good time with it,
Yeah.
actually.
Dang it.
Um,
I'm doing this wrong.
Yeah, like,
it was a really easy process for me at
She's being sarcastic.
half.
Super.
But so I actually, one of the heads of my department turned out to be my teacher last year, and I was in his class, and he goes, I read your application, I reviewed it. I'm the one who said yes.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, and he was like,
That's how she did it.
and he was just like, yeah, no, I really appreciated your answer of like, where do you expect your life to be? And I literally wrote, you had like a whole thing to like keep writing stuff, and I was just like, I don't know. It was like the
you
question.
got into college?
The question was like, what would you title the story of your life? Like after
I did that for Emerson too. yeah.
Okay, so and I just literally, I don't know. That was my answer. That was the title
That's
of
a
my
good
life.
one. I
That's a
got
good
really
answer.
creative with mine. That was stupid. No.
What did you write? What did
I
you
went
write,
really
Sam?
creative. Oh, I don't want to share that.
All right.
You got
Our
to now. It's on our
applications
place.
due. You're fine. You can share it.
Okay.
She's okay.
After the show, maybe.
You know what? I love this kid. I heart Jesus. She's a breath of fresh air, and I love her. And she's gonna do really well because she's just got a great attitude. Beautiful, swaggy girl, right? So, like about a year
Not
ago,
as loved.
I mean, this screen name is pretty awesome as well. Beautiful, swaggy girl.
Creative, see?
It sounds like a song title, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
Beautiful, swaggy girl. In
Just
my
watch. It's
rear
number one on
mirror.
iTunes.
I like Beautiful Swaggy Jesus. I heard that. Someone said that. I like that. Turn that into a song.
All right, I'd be happy to.
It's my beautiful swaggy Jesus.
Nice.
I don't know where that came from.
So, like about a year ago, I lost my
Fine,
best
God.
friend. So, like about a year ago,
Continue, Easy.
let me know when you're going to stop talking, Nico, and I'll start reading the question. Don't you hate it when teachers do that?
Oh
God,
God, it's
I'll
so
wait.
annoying. It's like, are you done
wait.
now? Are we done? Can we start?
So, like about a year ago, I lost my best friend. We were best friends last year, and all of that went away because I was talking to her on Facebook, but it wasn't my best friend I was talking to. It was her friends, so they hacked into her Facebook and started to chat with me, but I didn't know that, and they said, this guy really likes you. He goes to my school, and I went along with it and said, really? And it went on, and then they prank called me in the middle of the night and said mean stuff to me, and then the next morning I texted my best friend, and I was like, why would you say that about me? And then she said, you're so stupid. It wasn't me. It was my friends. And I'm like, WTF? And then she said, I'm so desperate for guys, and said really mean things to me. And now at school, she gives me dirty looks in the hallways, and she hates me. And I feel like everyone hates me because she told everyone, and I don't know what to do. Weirdy face. Please give me some advice. Thanks a bunch.
I
This
got
whole thing
so
sounds so
lost.
messed up.
Yeah.
I got lost. Can someone just give me like the spark notes on it?
Wait,
All
okay,
right.
wait. So the shortened version,
Yeah.
I believe, is so she had a friend, and she thought, okay, we're pretty cool. We're talking on Facebook. Turns out she wasn't talking to her friend on Facebook. She was talking to her friend's friends. They collected this information from her and used it to then call her up with her friend late at night and say awful things to her about the things that she had said.
Right, and they also said, this guy likes you, so why wouldn't she get excited? Like, that's
Oh,
actually good
that's
news.
just
And then they called her being boy crazy, like everyone doesn't want to date somebody at some point. Like, that's not part of being...
attractive. I'm not asexual and boy crazy.
So they really just, like, completely jumped her.
Yeah,
from
they're
every
like
angle.
evil mastermind.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's girls. We fight really dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. Question.
Question: did they was she friends with this girl before, and then it was a one-time thing where her friends were on Facebook and tricked her, or was it the whole friendship
It feels like
was a lie?
I don't know, but it feels like a campaign.
I know, it's creepy.
Yeah, so
12-year-old girls
it's
are the
disturbing, and it's just the kind of stuff that goes on. But Nico, go ahead.
Oh wait, she was friends with her for a while, or
They were best friends.
Or
all
she
last year,
jumped.
guys.
So a year
Oh.
ago, I lost my best friend.
Oh,
So this incident happened.
okay. First off,
A
me and
year
Jake,
ago.
would be laughing at the hacked thing if he was here. Like,
Right.
That's
I,
not how you
I seriously doubt it was even one of her friends who did it. It was probably her just messing around with her friends.
So it was
Yeah,
all
like they were
her?
probably all together having a sleepover, and then just like, hey, why don't you get on my Facebook and talk to this person?
Exactly. This exact same thing happened to me. See, not only girls fight dirty.
Mm.
A girl that I knew who I had the biggest crush on throughout middle school.
Mhm.
She started texting me one night "Hey, I've actually secretly liked you for a long time," and I'm like,
You?
"Oh God."
Wow.
Yeah, Sam's being sarcastic, but yeah, some people can find me attractive, surprisingly.
Yes.
And so I'm looking up at my bed, oh wow, I'm pretty cool. And then next morning she's like, "Hey, that was my friend. Sorry, they didn't really mean that." And I'm like,
wow.
"You know what? Screw this." And I just didn't talk to her again. I know she's your best friend and all, but honestly, this just seems like the kind of thing that's friends with just messing with you. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's my bias showing, but Montana?
Okay, I think it could go two ways. You could go and try to get her back as a friend, and if she apologizes and make it better. I wouldn't do that because that's stupid. Because she just seems she doesn't seem like a very nice person, because when she tried to apologize, she's like, "Oh, you're stupid for thinking that was me." First of all, you're not stupid for thinking that was her if it said it was her on Facebook.
Right.
And I don't know, it's just for a friend or for someone who you think is your friend to do that to you and then not even give a genuine apology and then have the guts to be mean to you and tell everybody what happened. I don't think they're worth saving, because she just seems kind of selfish and not sorry about anything. And it would be better for you if she's out of your life, because if it's her and the kind of people she hangs out with who are going to eventually come into your circle, probably, if you stay friends with her. If that's what you want to be around, great, good for you, but I don't think you would want to.
And since it involves guys or rumors of who likes who or whatever, don't you think that it's also sort of steeped in jealousy over
Oh, definitely.
who
Girls,
guys like and stuff?
I'm assuming this is middle school, but stuff like this also happens in high school all the time. It always happens. And it's also never a thing you should be ashamed about, of liking somebody.
Of course, who
Because,
gets to shame someone over something that, oh my God, you sneezed? Oh my God.
I know.
Okay, well, then you better not ever sneeze, because you just made fun of someone for sneezing.
I know.
We're going to sneeze and we're going to like people. That's just what humans do.
And when you get older, I think you realize, somebody would be like, so-and-so has a crush on so-and-so, and it's like, oh, cool. Good for you. That's
Yeah.
just how it becomes.
Yep.
After a while, it's not embarrassing. It's a thing that happens and people actually act on.
Aaron.
Yeah, I think that looking at the last bit of this post,
Mhm.
it's oh, you're so just for guys, you're so stupid, dirty looks in hallways. I mean, it's she cemented herself as an enemy. That is, there's nothing you can do at that point. She is against you.
It's Mean Girls.
Yeah,
shit right here.
this is just stay away territory. Find people who care about you and you care about and aren't complete, I guess, evil people. Because this is it's face heel turn. I don't know if you know that, but face heel turn. It's when you're writing a story, there's a good guy turns into a bad guy halfway through the story. That's a face heel turn. Exactly. Yes.
Oh, God.
M. Night Shyamalan. All right.
Shyamalan.
Keo.
Yeah, basically what you two just said, she's not taking your feelings seriously, because she would have apologized genuinely in this situation. She would have understood. Obviously she didn't really care about how you felt, because she wasn't thinking about it, and that's why she reacted that way, like you were stupid for thinking that.
Yeah, and so I feel like this, since this seems so calculated, like, first we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to shame her for it. I feel like this guy probably actually likes her, and they're just trying to trip her up.
I mean,
because they like him.
It could be that, or it could just be like, hey, do you want to mess with so-and-so? Yeah. And then they just decide to be mean for no reason.
I just don't know I don't know what would be the impetus or the motivation unless they were really jealous of this girl.
Maybe they're just jerks.
Like, I just remember in middle school, for me, it was like there were people who would just be like, hey, I don't like this person, and then I'd be like, why? And they're like, I don't know, cause let's make fun of her. So they'd spend like days just making fun of a person that they didn't like for no reason, and it's just kind of a thing. And I don't know if it was seated in jealousy or if it's just like, we don't like how the way your face looks. Like, oh, the other thing in middle school that happened a lot was everybody's like, oh, so and so's giving me dirty looks, and like, what if their face just looks like that?
Well,
like,
and
that's
you know
not
what
fair.
else?
Middle
Okay, go
school's
ahead, Liv.
much worse than high school.
Okay, so I have like a resting face, which like it makes me look really, really aggressive.
Oh, you're
Understand
your
that.
mean resting face.
No,
What? Sam has it too.
I have resting bitch face.
Yeah,
No,
but
so-
resting bitch face. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
In my art place days, not say words like this. But so in class the other day, like this kid who I constantly have rehearsal with, like came up to me. He's like, "Hey, are you mad at me?" And I was like, "No." And he was just like, "Okay, good, because like I don't know what I did, and you just looked really, really, really mad at me this whole time." I was like this. He was like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "No, that's just my face." And he was just like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Keo?
Ever since I was in like elementary school, teachers would walk up to me or adults and be like, "What's wrong?" I'd be like, "Nothing. I'm just chilling. Like,
You
leave
have
me alone."
resting sad face.
Yeah, I have resting sad face. Or like, as I got older, it got a little more angry looking. I think a little more intimidating.
You know what?
Oh,
Like, but
because you're large.
Yeah.
I always get asked why I'm so pissed off, though. Always.
Aren't you
well,
usually
like, what
pissed
I
off,
don't
though?
like is like
Yeah,
when you're walking
but-
down the street and some random stranger says smile.
Yup.
I'd be like, I was just walking and randomly smiling. That'd be so creepy.
Yeah.
That has never happened
Don't
to
tell
me.
me what to
Who
do.
did that to you?
Oh,
Oh,
constantly.
it happens to me all the time.
Constantly.
Who does
All
that?
the time. I cannot walk
That's
to
so
CVS
strange.
without somebody being like, "You should smile more," or "Smile," or "I bet you have pretty teeth." Like, no.
That sounds like
What if you're
someone
British?
making fun of street harassment. That doesn't make any sense. Oh,
I
wow,
feel like that's
great.
kind of a
Men say that-
sexist thing.
It is a
Like,
sexist. Yeah, men
Yeah.
say that to girls. It's
Yeah.
like the new version of like a cat call, I guess. It's a way to interact with you.
Wait,
Yeah.
smiles to cat.
But I'm kind of jealous.
It's
If
way
you
to
say
inter-
I
anything
wish
to me on
people
the
wanted me
street,
to be
you
happy.
will get a very strong
It's
response.
what I
that
mean,
you are
Nico,
not
is like a way to
respecting.
try and interact with a female, is to tell her to smile. When actually, like, if you go to any sort of class about how a guy can interact with a random female, do not tell her to smile because it like really pisses us off.
Oh yeah, I will tell
There are
someone to get
classes
their head
for
out of there.
this?
You know,
I assume
Oh.
there are. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
if it's learning
There
and
are.
actual
How to tell a
where.
girl to smile 101.
But like,
Maybe
don't say
online
it.
YouTube tutorials, but
community college get credits for it.
all right. I think we have a phone call
It's
waiting.
pretty hard.
Hello,
Hello.
hi, who's there?
Me?
Jordan. Jordan.
Hey, Jordan, you should smile.
Jordan, are you smiling?
I can't hear your smile.
Yes.
Jordan, smile more.
Nice.
Montana dropped something, and it's kind.
Wow.
She does look sort of like
Was
a
that
confused homeless person. You know, sort of, kind of
Everybody says
looking
that.
for her schnapps.
Everybody says that. That's not a good sign.
Peep snap.
Where is this phone call going?
Where did
Not
I put
wearing
my
pants
puppy?
today.
What are you looking for, honey?
So we have a caller.
Oh, the top to the Coke?
It's
yeah.
right there. Boom.
Well, don't knock over the Coke looking for the top to the Coke.
So,
Throwing
Jordan,
away
how's it
my
going?
life. I'm
Not
gonna
even
be
a
a
good
good
Coke.
Good job, Keo. Well done.
That's a jerk.
All right, so what's up with you tonight, Jordan?
Just watching OCOL. That's all. Just normal.
Is this the best show ever?
Yeah.
Excellent. What are
She's
you
making
guys?
fun of
What
I
are
don't
you,
need that sass.
what are you guys doing? We don't need that. Did you see Olivia's here?
I did.
Are you excited?
Hi.
What are you doing? What are you
Hi.
doing for Thanksgiving?
Good question.
Yeah, you got to start planning now. It's the day after tomorrow. Oh my god. Yep. Yep.
Montana, so like.
You guys should totally go to like.
All right.
You guys
should
should
come
go
to my
like to.
temple. That's where I feed the homeless and
Do
the
they have
hungry
like
every year.
Boston? What's it called? Boston
Cream
chicken?
pies?
Bombing.
No, Boston chicken. Like they have
Butterball?
really
No.
good turkey there, even though it's called
Boston
Market.
Boston
yeah, Boston
Kitchen?
Market. Yeah,
Oh, come on, Weezy.
because like if you don't have any prepared turkey, just go to Boston Market and order like
Also,
the turkey
Golden
plate.
Corral's having a special.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was up
Good.
on the plane, and then they ran a Golden Corral
Doesn't, like,
thing
every
where you
buffet
can
have
go
that
for
kind of
$12, and it will feed your whole family.
It sounds really good. Like, who wants to brine a turkey? Like, Trisha's brining a turkey all day tomorrow. Like, who needs to do that when you can call up briners and they can come and brine for you?
Go to
I
the
don't even
Yellow
know.
Pages.
I don't even know what it means.
Wheezy, have
it
you
sure
ever?
sounds really cool.
Speaking of buffets, have you ever gone to those like Korean barbecue buffet things?
No, but I want
They
to.
are so good. Oh my god.
God.
I just we just discovered them because my new boyfriend, he's like food and all we do is food.
Wow.
So
Is
he
he a
took me
large
to-
man?
He is food.
What?
Is he a large boy?
Not large.
Is he a brick
Fun
house?
size.
We have like I know our thighs are like the same circumference.
a brick.
So
Owls. All right. Excellent. Here's my tomato.
Just letting know.
All right, well, have a very happy Thanksgiving, Jordan, and thank you for calling, and we love you. And we
Don't
will
forget
see
to
you
watch
in-
the parade.
Watch the parade, yes. Give us a call at 888-531-7171. Abby writes, Aaron?
No, she doesn't. Me and this guy go to college together. He randomly started flirting with me, and pretty much he charmed me. And I started to like him, and I thought he liked me too because of the sort of things he did. Then, out of nowhere, he leaves school. I tried texting him to see why he left, but he never texted me back. Then I Snapchatted him, and he opened my Snapchats, but never replied to them. But yet he looks at my stories. One day I looked under his best friends category, and he had this girl as one of his best friends, so I guess they were dating or something. I got sad and upset, so I blocked him. And a few days later I felt better, and I unblocked him. Almost immediately he blocks me. Now I feel sad again, and I don't know what to do. And I know I need to get over it and stop obsessing, but I just can't seem to. I feel hurt, and this is the first guy I've ever liked.
All right, before I go to the panel, I just want to pose this question. How do you feel about using social network to block and unblock people as a form of revenge? Go ahead, Olivia.
Okay. Stop.
Yes, thank you. We're done. Next topic.
Our place.
no, that's
I
what
mean,
was gonna say.
No.
Moving
Blocking
on.
is for people who you actually that cannot be in your life, who are constantly harassing you over this form of social media. Like, I constantly get those like Snapchats, and you open it up, and it's like, you won an Xbox, and I'm like, no, I didn't. Block. So that's what that's there for. That's what there are 3 people on my Facebook who are blocked because they don't have the right to see my things anymore. They lost that privilege. Done. Blocked. I don't use it. I don't go like, oh, I'm upset today. Bye, Lizzie. Like, no. Also, she's my roommate, so that wouldn't work. But, I mean, it just, you don't do that. And you don't use looking at someone's Snapchat or seeing what they liked on your Instagram as a way of, like, them, like, valuing you as a person. That's it. It's wrong. It's
right. You
him
can't analyze your
opening it.
value based on who's in someone's top friends or...
I mean, exactly.
and plus, you weren't dating the kid, and plus, like, the kid left your school, and plus...
It's Snapchat.
It's Snapchat.
I mean,
Montana.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, Montana.
I didn't even know you could block a person on Snapchat until like yesterday. Like, I was talking to my ex, he was like, "Sorry, I blocked you on Snapchat," and I'm like, "You did?"
Wow, I'm wounded.
I didn't know that was a thing. And he's like, "Yeah, I blocked you off of like all of them, and I took off our relationship status." And I was like, "I didn't know you could even do that
You can
because
send money through Snapchat now.
you can,
Yeah.
like pictures of money."
No, like actual money. Like, you
Oh.
put your
I
bank
don't understand how to do that.
And there's video chatting. It's like really
sounds like a bad idea.
Sound advice.
But anyway,
This sounds almost as smart as
point-
Bitcoin.
my point with my horrible technology ignorance, God, I'm approaching like old people level of this because I don't know
You
how
still have
it-
that beeper, Montana?
Yeah. Got in my homeless
Can we
pouch.
bring beepers back?
I would
Because they
love it
sound
if we just
great.
had our place beepers.
Yeah.
And we all wore them on our belt.
They become ironically worn
Need to
everywhere.
get a belt now.
Oh, great.
But anyway, with my and by the way, he didn't do it vengefully. He actually did it because he's like, "Oh, I don't want to see your stuff."
I
So-
totally get that.
Yeah.
If you need to get
So
over
that's-
somebody,
that's
I
like
get that.
That's decent. But
Yeah.
like if you're trying to do it to be mean, like
right.
don't
He was trying to get
don't
his
take
attention.
it personally. And
Yeah.
also
And then
He
he
doesn't
decided, well, if
care.
you're going to
Mhm.
play
He
that,
does
then
not
I'll
care.
play that.
And my point with my horrible ignorance is that like just don't take anything of Snapchat seriously. Like if someone were to Snapchat you something like really serious, like you wouldn't
Have a
tell
conversation
somebody
over
that like
Snapchat.
your dog died over Snapchat with a Snapchat of your dead dog. So why would you do anything that
Right.
anything else that impacts your life over
Right.
Snapchat?
There's a story of Sparky getting hit by a
then, like,
car.
And then because
think that
it disappears after how many seconds?
Like 10 seconds.
you
is
could
the
be like,
max.
wait a minute, did my dog die or did I just dream it? Because it's gone, right? So you can't even look back and see if that's actually a thing.
Unless
that
you
happened.
put it in your story.
Like to people with
My
Alzheimer's
I
should
don't
not
know
have
how to do
It
Snapchat.
lasts for 24 hours.
People with Alzheimer's should not have Snapchat.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Aaron.
Can I just say about Snapchat that you don't get to pick who your best friends are on Snapchat?
That's true.
Like,
Random.
it does it on its own.
Wait, you have best friends on Snapchat?
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
you know,
can have three
it
best
lists the
friends.
people who watch your stuff the most, and it calls them
Oh,
your best friends.
no.
Like, my girlfriend is not on my Snapchat list of best
I
friends.
thought it was like
Dump
who you
her.
messaged the most.
No, but it's not who you message the most. It's not who you message the most. It's who messages you or who sees your stuff the most.
That's kind of
Oh
So, like-
no, that's really creepy though, because I would look at everybody's stories because there's like the number.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
yeah, stories
cool.
doing it, yeah.
There's like
So-
there's a snap. There's like some Snapchat. It's like some
Put your
nice
hand down
girl.
now.
Oh god.
Thank you,
Do
Sam.
go on.
Sorry.
That was even the thing. I was trying to tell fun. You don't go on, Aaron. I'm
All right,
sorry.
all right, no,
I'm
but, like,
humiliated.
No, I'm just saying, like, listen, you cannot base relationship statuses off of Snapchat best friends because it literally doesn't work that way. They did not pick their best friends, and you might have been in his best friend list had you not blocked him and had you seen his stuff.
Ooh, smart.
So because you weren't there, maybe someone else who didn't even watch his stuff as much as you might have snuck in.
See what you're missing.
It's
out
like
on?
you can't just assume things. You gotta talk things
You gotta
out.
talk to the person,
Yes.
and you can't. There's so much data available to us through social networking, but if you put your worldview together based on that, it will be flawed. Nico.
Like maybe this guy's thinking, okay, there's this girl I'm not totally into. I just switched schools. I don't really want to talk to her anymore. But I'm not gonna just say, hey, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And he doesn't realize that this is like the first guy she's ever liked, and maybe be a bit obsessive. I think maybe that's kind of the situation going on because she's sounding like she's freaking out a little bit too much over this because this doesn't even sound like they were dating or all. Like, what do you guys think?
All right, so my roommate does this all the time, and I love her to death, and I tell her every time, you can't base your decisions off of Instagram, and she'll be like, he liked my Instagram picture from 10 weeks ago! And I'm just like,
I love
that
when that
doesn't
happens.
mean anything, though.
No.
And she's just like, yeah, no, it means he had to... And I was like, no. Doesn't mean anything. Shut down. Good night.
You
How
should
could
be
you say
everyone's
such a
roommate.
thing?
That'd be awesome.
Thank you so much.
What was she
Thank you
trying
so
to
much.
prove with that, by the way?
No,
Well, then
she
he had to
liked
scroll through all her pictures.
to find the
yeah.
one.
Oh, that
And
like
then
he
like
likes
it.
her or something?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was they were an item over the summer, but they go to different schools, and he goes to school in Hawaii, and we go to school in Boston, and that's not going to work.
Yeah.
What, did she want a long distance with him because he liked an Instagram photo of hers?
I don't know. It was
Because that would be the best explanation of how did you guys get together? Oh,
He
I
liked
liked
my
her.
Instagram photo
He
from
liked
10
my
weeks
picture on
ago.
Instagram. We got together on Vine and over Skype and just
I
Aaron?
no.
Yeah, that's like sort of the last bit of the question. The first bit is sort of like, me and this guy were sort of flirty or whatever. But then he went to another school.
Yep.
I mean, that kind of solves the issue, in my opinion. He's not there.
Over.
He's
Like-
just not that into
Right,
you.
Olivia's off mic, but what she's saying is totally correct.
Yeah, no, it's over at that point. Unless
mean-
you can really establish a relationship, unless you've had a relationship before, unless there was time to like really foster that and build it into something that was absolutely worth the heartbreak of being long distance for.
Right. All right, let's move on to the next question because I feel like it's important. Anonymous writes, my entire family is Christian, has been for centuries, and a few missionaries here and there. I am bisexual, in depression, and I swear I cut myself. 2 of my 3 sisters don't respect me for who I am just because I'm a fangirl. I haven't told anyone that I'm not Christian or bisexual. One doesn't or rarely talk to me. Only one of my friends know that I might not be Christian, but I didn't straight up say it. Another might know I'm bisexual, but it's the same story. I broke my hairbrush by hitting myself with it, and now I use it as a knife to cut myself. I am terrified of my own self. Each time I feel my scars rub against my clothing, I enjoy the aching pain. I enjoyed cutting myself. How do I move on from this? So we don't really like to glorify cutting, and there's a lot of that in this question, but I use it anyway because I felt like it was an interesting question alongside of something that happened in the news this week, which is that a young country artist named Billy Gilman, who's only about 25 or 26 years old, recently came out. He came out maybe 3 or 4 days ago, just via a YouTube message to his fans. And in country music, if you're going to be an artist, you just can't be gay. There's people who are gay that work behind the scenes in Nashville, but there's no gay nightlife. There's no gay clubs. You just cannot be gay on the surface in Nashville. And as far as we've come in the last 10 years, there are still areas, whether it be like very devout Christians, very devout Muslims, very devout Jews, or country music, where it's still not okay to be gay. And even just reading some of the comments that Billy got, people really don't get it on a large scale. And I was really thrilled when he came out, because I want there to be some movement. And on the TV show Nashville, there's a gay character who's closeted, and I feel like we're about to really make some progress in the Nashville community. And I was very, very gratified to see that he was being so brave. And I just wanted to see how you guys feel about it, Montana.
Is there really no gay nightlife in Nashville?
None.
Because
None.
I watched, this is not the most credible source, but I got really, really into girls who like boys who like boys. Yeah, girls who like boys who like boys.
On Logo?
Yeah, I think it's on Logo,
Yeah.
but I watched it on Netflix, and it was like, it's this show about gay guys and their straight girl best friends, which is just a terrible like misconception that everybody has, that like, oh, every gay guy needs a straight girl best friend to like take care of and blah blah blah. But it's true for this, and it's a great show, and I don't recommend wasting your life watching it like I did, but I'm not gonna I'm not
compared
gonna throw
to
shade if you
Olivia's
do.
TLC addiction, I think
Oh
it's
no,
fine.
no. Wait, what do you watch? Because
Oh, God.
Everything.
Yeah.
me too.
This whole Honey Boo Boo thing has turned my world upside down.
Why?
Can't talk
I'm
about
so
it.
angry about why. Okay, I can't be angry because of why they canceled it, but like,
No, they canceled it for the right reasons. Mama June needs to get her stuff together.
what is
but
wrong with that lady?
I
Why
mean-
did she divorce
Papa
Honey Bear?
Sugar
Hold
Bear.
up,
Bear.
hold up. There's a
Sugar Bear.
lot wrong with Honey Boo Boo. There is nothing wrong with Mama June, all right?
Excuse me.
Like that woman took like all the money she got from that, put it towards her kids' college fund, put it
Okay.
in her house.
How about let's not date a sex offender who's offended young children that she has.
Okay, see, if that was a rule, I would never get a date.
Oh my god.
See, I didn't know that part actually.
I like how
she's dating a registered sex offender and having him around her child.
No,
Okay, see, that doesn't make any sense.
He has
But let's focus on the gay kid
I like
who's
how we
coming
just
out.
snowball into something.
No, I mean,
completely different.
we'll come back since that's
and I are
it.
just, like,
Honey
sitting
Boo
here
Boo
like,
seems
what's
to be
going
a
on?
very hot topic, and we will
So-
come back to it next week. But I really wanted to make the comparison between
Damn, Mama June,
between
what
a
happened to
young
you?
artist not really being permitted to be who he is, because in life, I was even listening to something on NPR that stated that kids will be out at college, but then when they take their first job, they're not necessarily out because they need to know how that's going to fly on the radar of this new community. And what straight people take for granted is that you can come to work, you can say what you did over the weekend, you can say who you did it with, you can put your pictures on your desk, you can talk about your life, and you don't get to do that if you're gay and closeted. And I think we still have a lot of progress to make. Olivia.
Okay, so I go to Emerson College in Boston,
Right.
and we are the #1 most LGBTQ friendly school in the country.
Wow.
So we've been, voted by that in like every college newspaper, magazine, book, and so going there, you have a lot of responsibility to be open and accepting, both the faculty and the students, and I think that we really are, and I really I'm very proud of my school for doing that. But still, even at the most accepting school in the country, last year my teacher, he was one of my voice teachers in theater, and he was really uncomfortable, and he wouldn't use gender pronouns, and talking about who he was with, and it got to a point where another student said to the teacher, he was like, "It's okay, you can say what you need to say, you don't need to block yourself." And he was just like, "Okay, yeah." So I was with a guy over the weekend, and he is my significant partner, and we have been together for a very long time, and I love him very much. And it was just like everybody in the class was just like, "Okay, cool." But he, for the majority of the semester, wouldn't say that at the most accepting school in the country. So I can't even imagine what it's like to be a country singer coming out to that community.
And the other interesting thing about Billy is that he was a child star with big hit records as a small child. And so Nashville completely embraced him as a child while he was a cute young person. And then after he went through puberty, they started to sense that, oh, he might be gay, and they completely dumped him. And can you imagine how painful that was? Because he was growing up in the public eye, and he had to feel like, I'm not going to be good enough to be accepted as an adult after having been so embraced on Oprah and on Christmas specials and in parades and everything as a child. And this just breaks my heart. Aaron.
I was just actually in Nashville like a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, and we made it a point, my family and I, to actually talk to people we met and said, we hear it's kind of iffy around here. What's your take on this? And I mean, maybe it was just the people that we happened to be staying with and people that they knew and et cetera, but things seemed at least somewhat positive. And I'm not saying that's how it is, but I'm saying there are pockets at the very least, even within Nashville.
Well, the pockets are that you can work in Nashville and be a gay person, and Nashville is pretty open-minded that way. But they understand that their record-buying public of country music product will tend to be Bible Belt in terms of where people are situated. And so Nashville itself is very open-minded,
right.
Meaning you can be behind the scenes and work in the music industry and work in Nashville. But if you're the front-facing, the public-facing artist, i.e., Billy Gilman or Randy Travis, let's just say it because it, kind of like everyone knows. I'm not going to say it, but because I don't really know where what he has said publicly. But he's just a tiny example of there are household names who are gay. I know they're gay, but they're not publicly gay. They're they would not be accepted and they would not have a career. So I feel like Nashville is 15 years behind the rest of show business, and that's why I'm so passionate about this, because there's valid artists who are just as talented as everybody else, but they have to live a life of secrecy, and it's not fair. And I don't think it has anything to do with the quality of the music that they're capable of producing. Q.
I definitely agree with you 100%. I'm not sure what to tell this girl though. Do we tell her? What do we tell her?
I'm telling her that, like Billy, there will be a time where she can state her truth, and it may not be. She's not the first gay kid in her family. I don't care how many missionaries are in your family tree. You're not the first gay person. You're just going to be the first gay person who comes out. Mm-hmm. But wait until you're safely out of the house. That's what I would tell her. Olivia, and then throw to Montana.
Well, speaking of being safe, cutting is addressed in the question, and hurting yourself is addressed in the question. And I have to be a responsible person and strongly advise that you seek immediate help for that.
And we always advise that you call the helpline for SAFE, Self-Abuse Finally Ends. It is in our list of helplines, which you can find by tapping the little telephone.
Yeah. So I just wanted to definitely make that as a point. Montana.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to address that, too. It's really hard because if you're in a family like that, it's probably not okay to come out, because as much as we say you need to be yourself and you're amazing how you are, it's not always going to read like that to other people, and maybe they'll accept it someday, but there's a good chance they may not, and that's going to have to be something you have to try to accept in your life. And it's not saying that that's fair or anything, but I mean, that's just going to help make you stronger once you do get to come out.
Right, and I know it's really kind of not that helpful to hear this from us right now, because you love the family that you have and you want to be accepted by them, but you are going to build your own family of friends. And if your original family that you come from never truly accepts your true self, then you will be supported by all of the people that you find along the way, and they are looking for you just like you are looking for them. You're not just needing a family, you're going to provide a family to the people who are lost just like you and waiting to meet you. So you can't destroy yourself right now when there's people out there waiting for you. Kyo.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a healthy thing to find someone you trust that you can talk to about your feelings. Even if there's not someone necessarily in your life physically, you still have our place and someone just to talk to, like how you're feeling today, or just so you're not keeping secrets that are hurting you inside.
Right, and feeling pain is not a substitute for feeling love.
Yeah.
It isn't, and that is addictive, but I do feel like your situation is very situational, and that as soon as you know that you are loved and accepted for your actual self, that you won't feel this compulsion to cut or harm the body that God has given you. So, yes, please call the helpline and get immediate physical help, and then the emotional help can follow. Nico?
Well,
I saw your hand up, sorry.
I can say something, I guess. I mean, I don't really know much about what it'd be like to be gay or, to cut myself. I do know how much it can hurt to hold the truth inside you and just really want to let it out and not be able to under fear.
Right.
But you got to know to never give up on that truth. And to never give up in general.
There's people in the world who accept you.
Oh, tons.
Definitely.
Oodles, and oodles.
Keep that
We
truth
do,
alive.
like us.
We accept you.
And
Our
we love you,
place.
and we are Our Place, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I've been out there wandering. I've been in here wondering, hoping, reaching, wishing I could find my